Hi, I'm Day, and this is Daylight Healing Oracle. This is the energy reading for the Virgo new moon. It has been a stormy time, and we are coming up after the storm. But you may ask, when does that happen exactly? I think the lesson here is finding how to have peace even when others come to you with storms. Even when storms seem to be raging on the outside, how can we find peace within? We have 6 planets in retrograde right now, including Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. It rules both Gemini and Virgo, but Virgo is this sign of Earth that is constantly changing from day to day, throughout the day, every hour. Every hour we have different planetary rulers, so you can always sense the differences in the energies throughout the day. What I'm finding is that the one thing that is true is the voice that is the witness. And I think what is coming up right now is a witnessing of our shared experience, of people's experiences, of the atrocities that have been committed, and the pain and the suffering that has gone with that. But now is a time of balance. Virgo is a meticulous energy of the perfection of creation. In astrology, we talk about sister signs, which means the opposite sign of the zodiac. So with Virgo, that is Pisces. And these are about balancing each other out. Much like the north and south node of the moon, it is not an either or. It is not one sign, but it is the balancing of the energies so that we can connect to the higher consciousness of these energies and work through the shadows of them. And that is precisely what all these retrograde planets are about. We have so much to unpack when it comes to what we have hidden in the shadow realms. Just after this new moon, Mercury will go direct. So the confusion that comes with Mercury retrograde and, just kind of like that sort of feeling where you can't move forward will pass. But this is also a chance to reevaluate what we think and how we think, and what we believe and why we believe it, and what pieces and mirrors and lenses we have taken upon ourselves to recreate as our personality and our identity. The new moon is all about having our consciousness right here within us, a chance to go into the underworld, because that is where all the seeds must grow from. This fertile soil is the void of creation. Virgo, also called the Virgin, which that word has been so misconstrued because what it originally meant was the clarity of energy. And when you talk about Mary and you talk about the Magdalene, these were women who knew what kind of energetic exchange comes when you have a physical relationship. And they also knew that they could call in high light beings. And a lot of what's happening right now is the resurgence of this knowledge and the teachings of the divine feminine. And in these teachings, because I have felt very called to learn about the misunderstood feminine within us all, our emotions, our creations, what we have been told to fear is truly our greatest power of all. And this is this distortion that has come from this patriarchal society that has tried to control, that is crumbling now. Everything is balancing itself out. I see this happening a lot astrologically with the shifting of the nodes, what people call the nodes of fate, the north and south node of the moon. Because the earth does not spin up and down, and neither does the moon. They're both on an axis. And as the nodes of the moon switch signs, I believe that everything comes back around. Everything gets balanced out. Where we are now is the Aries north node, Libra south node. And so we're going to come up in a couple weeks, in a month or so, we're going to start having eclipse season. Because each year the eclipse season happens during the time of the nodes of the moon are affected. And so that will happen in Libra season when we have an Aries new moon. So with this, everything is balancing itself out perfectly. It is aligning perfectly. And the resurgence of the divine feminine is coming about with a lot of introspection within all of us, but that also can come with a deep sadness. So there can be a deep well of grief, of the witnessing, of the experience, of us all losing a part of ourselves and being taught to fear the power within us and the truth. So as we awaken, there is a grief that comes from seeing what the experience was that we had within the web of lies. Mary Magdalene was completely misunderstood and labeled in horrible ways and betrayed. And what's happening right now here as what we call the virgin, the cleanliness energy, that is about our integrity in decision. And we may act exactly as we decide in freedom. So at the end of her life, they say she went into a cave naked. Much like these planets, much like go into the underworld, much like Persephone, the story of Persephone going into the underworld. And what we thought was being lost was the divine feminine entering the womb, only to emerge when it was time for us to truly understand what that means for all of us within and without. Right now, the Piscean influence of Virgo is incredibly strong, because what this energy truly is about is the daily practice of bringing the spirituality into the physical, of drawing it into the physical, and of knowing that we are the vessels alone. We may connect with others and see reflections of ourselves, but it is always us. So that means that no power can dictate where we get our resources from And that is what is shifting on this plane, on this planet, on this earth right now, and we are living through it. We have a chance to show our spiritual purpose in our daily actions of putting that first as the belief in whatever way feels authentic for us, not in ways that we think we should in order to perform to some ideal of perfectionist tendencies of what we've been told we need to be. So during this new moon, we have Neptune in Pisces as well, opposing where our sun and moon are in Virgo. And this is also going inwards in the nebulous face of really not understanding what the hell is going on. But it's not about understanding. It's not about seeing all of the pieces, how they're going to play out. We just have to trust one step at a time. Because in the darkness, in this fertile void, is where the seeds grow. And where we cast out that divine feminine within us, we cast her out somewhere where we thought she could never return. But instead, it was the womb that brought her back to life.